Hi guys, do you remember this from my Nita video?
2006, they had the Awareness Week theme of Be Comfortable in Your Jeans, and how would you interpret this? Too often, individuals struggle against their natural genetically influenced size just to fit into that pair of skinny jeans in the back of their closets. Fighting your natural shape and size can lead to unhealthy dieting practice, poor body image, and sometimes EDS. While you can adopt a healthy lifestyle and aim to be fit for your particular body type, you cannot change your genes. And then there is no further elaboration on, do they mean just bone structure? How does your body distribute fat? Or do they just mean some people are supposed to be 500 pounds?
I remember I bought these leggings, cosmic universe looking leggings, the galaxy leggings, and I really liked those. And I liked skinny jeans in general. I was into indie rock music, later into gothic rock music and dark wave and stuff. And I was never girly enough to wear, I never really liked skirts and dresses. So I was always in skinny jeans and I was frustrated that I didn't look good in them. Wide trochanter flare. It's the bone that is it sticks out at the top of your thigh bone and it's where your leg connects to your pelvic bone. The trochanter flare is this lumpy bit of bone, and when it sticks out like mine does because of the shape, bone structure issues, this is about bone structure and how big that lumpy bit on the femur bone is. When you've got my particular combination of those things, as you can see, it creates this violin shape. People call it hip dips. It sort of forces the fat to pull underneath it. Why have I got this one lump of fat right and on each leg? Why is it all collecting in this one place? What can I do about that? You can't really do much about that. In my early 20s, I didn't understand this. It didn't make sense to me. Instead of helpful graphics like this or any information, all I managed to do was post a picture of myself just in normal leggings or whatever and ask some kind of image sharing website. I don't even remember which one it was, what this was, what do I do about it? And the only responses I got were a dick pic and somebody asking, is it a tumor? I don't think seriously. I think to be mean. Why don't edge charities say stuff like this? They were around in the early 2000s, even the 90s, some of them. If their focus really was, as it seems to have been, on people who are not overweight, why would they talking as if they were talking to people who are overweight and telling them that they can't lose it? It doesn't make any sense. If you're lumping all that together and saying it's just in your genes, and then I conclude, well, I don't think it is in my genes, that's dumb, which is true. Like, being fat obviously isn't it's so obvious. Anyone who just looks at old footage of people in the 50s and before knows that it's clearly not genetic. It doesn't make any sense. And so if you realize that they're wrong about that, you might conclude, well, they're wrong. I can make myself fit into these genes. Not that I had an ed or was in danger of getting one over this, ever. It was just an annoyance. But I do see how if I had that annoyance and I was tempted to use my, becoming snatched and stuff as like my distraction and my coping mechanism, it could have gone that way. It was more common then that people who thought they were overweight actually were not. I think that's a lot less common now, partly because fewer people are a healthy weight. More people are overweight and obese from a young age, and also because the perception of what overweight looks like has changed so much. But due to the obesity crisis and the normalization of it, I'm sure 100% that it is still happening. So those people do need to be addressed. And it seems that what we do now is we shut that conversation down. At least fat acceptance on social media, they really don't like it when someone who is not overweight talks about the insecurities with their body. You're stigmatizing fatness, for one thing, making people compare their bodies to you and say, well, I must be huge then.
It's the golden ratio, which is part of all of nature. Like, even this painting of a wave, the golden ratio is a mathematical thing. The way that we think outfits look good is affected by it. What we used to understand was that it's not about making you look like you have a good body composition. That's kind of a separate part of the brain. It's more that your body shape works with or against certain designs of clothing to create the golden ratio or not. It looks better when the lump is up here. If you're going to have hip lumps, that's fine, but I wanted them higher up. I didn't like them being low down, and I now understand, no one ever explained this to me, that it was about the golden ratio and how the clothes that are most most available, the clothes that I was wearing, the clothes that I showed you myself wearing earlier, that's kind of the way the clothes are designed, to fall on you in a way that gives you that golden ratio. Certain lengths of top, with the skinny jeans, the way it was draping over me didn't create the golden ratio. It really has nothing to do with wanting to look fit. In that particular case, it's literally lines and shapes.
I'm scrolling and I'm seeing video after video of different plus size baddies styling their outfits, and they're all trashing the word flattering. Flattering has essentially become the same word as slimming. And that's not how I interpret that word at all. I also dislike the flattering concept because it's mainly based in how thin you look with certain items of clothes. Like, the goal is always to look thinner.
This was the video by Emmy Brooklyn Baby that really got me thinking about this, and in particular, one thing that she said.
And I would get really down on myself if, like, I saw a really cute outfit on somebody else, and then I would try to put something similar together, and I couldn't make it work. But then when I learned about the Kibbe types, it all kind of made more sense to me.
And it's the idea of feeling badly about yourself because you can't make an outfit look good on you that looks good on somebody else. And now, I don't want to assume that this is the thought process that Emmy had, but I did think about myself and how, yes, I blamed my body. I was trying to work out what's wrong with my body that I don't look good in these shapes. And I think some people will just assume that they are fat these days because the message we are getting from edge charities that are pushing fat acceptance, health at every size, are giving this idea that if you don't like how you look in an outfit, it has to be because of your size or your fat percentage, one or the other, or both. They don't talk about how long your legs are and how that affects your silhouette, shoulder width and things. Like the Kibbe system talks about those things. And nowadays it's all just, if you don't like how you look, it's fat phobic. It's because you don't want to be fat. And that will give people, even people who've never been overweight, if you've grown up in a culture where most people are, and that's how everyone is talking now in terms of how being fat affects the golden ratio, and no awareness of anything else, you're gonna think, well, if I don't look good in this, it must be because I'm not in as good shape as I thought. I thought I looked in good shape, but look, I don't look as good in this as somebody else does. This stupid trend, also brought to my attention by Emmy Brooklyn Baby, of people saying, is it a fit or are they just quote unquote skinny, by which they usually mean just, healthy weight. They've changed the meaning of that word even. It just implies that people who are not overweight must always look good in clothes. Otherwise, that means you're overweight. And for example, there's another woman I want to show you. Look at the comment that this woman got when she was, obviously, from the context, to watch the whole video, she was not complaining that outfits make her look fat. It had nothing to do with that.
And now that I work from home, I only ever wear athleisure wear, and I just don't know what suits my body. I don't know what's flattering on me. I just don't know how to dress. I bought these shorts, I'm not even kidding you, probably 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, and this might be my second time wearing them. I understand this is a very simple outfit, but I don't feel like this is flattering me in any sort of way. This tank top isn't that tight. Like, it's actually a pretty loose fitting tank top, so I just keep tucking it in and bunching it in the back so it fits me more form fitting. But is that flattering? I feel like these are hitting my waist weird. Is it the belt? They're a little bit big. I hate belts. I don't even know why I put on a belt, but at the same time, maybe it looks so much better without a belt. I don't know. And look at my shoes. Are these in still? I don't know.
And here's some evidence of this in the comment section under this video. I think you have a point that the word flattering isn't necessarily code for slimming, but I definitely think it was co-opted that way in terms of how it's commonly used. I've noticed this too, even in the UK. I was raised in one of the more overweight parts of the UK, and so I think it probably happened early here. I completely get where people get that idea from. It's because that's taken over the conversation. The obesity crisis has taken over, and then the people with EDS who want everyone else to be as obsessed with the appearance and the social side of being overweight as they are, they're the ones who also sort of push out any other conversation, because whatever you say, they've been twisting it for decades into, oh, it's really that you don't want to be fat. Oh, you're saying you don't like your shape, you don't like your hips, you don't like this, that. They will tell you that you are just actually really, you just don't want to be fat. And it's like, no, that might not be it. But then that's going to affect how people talk about this generations down the line. If you're wearing an outfit and you're like, oh, it doesn't it just doesn't look right. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't look right. It must be my fault. It must be my body is wrongly shaped. And you might even go to, it must be that I'm fat and need to lose weight. That can be a thing. And this person says, if you read women's magazines in the 2000s and early 2010s, you would read about which clothes were flattering and not flattering for various things that could be wrong with you, not just being fat. This person thinks it's negative. I actually think that was more helpful. Short legs, you shouldn't wear capris, even if they're in fashion. Big boobs, can't wear a turtleneck. Ginger hair, you can't wear pink, and so on. There are a million ways to be wrong as a woman. Being fat was probably the worst way to be, though. I don't know which country this person's from and which magazines they were reading, to be fair, but I don't see it that way. I actually think pointing out all those things is so much more helpful, because you are going to look at yourself in the mirror and think, it doesn't look as good as I thought it would. That's going to happen. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't personalize it and think it is something wrong with you. It's more like you're not making the lines work on the canvas, which is your body, your particular body silhouette. There are other issues, things like, your boobs. That's a huge one. People are insecure about their boobs these days, BBLs and stuff, and yet the ed world has never anything to say about that. They are never there telling you, hey, don't worry, you're not going to get that particular shape in a natural, healthy way. I've seen more posts than I can count from people who are healthy weight or overweight or even class 1 obese. They never address the fact that people, especially boys, but even women now, get bullied for being a healthy weight, not because you're called fat when you're a healthy weight. That's a thing of the past. That used to happen. They were bullied for being too thin. The BMI does this. An Italian study last year found that 2/3 of people that BMI called underweight were just small-framed people, meaning light-boned, like tiny, light, narrow bones, with low density, who had a normal body fat percentage, and so they were actually not underweight. That's 2/3, and that's it in Italy. I imagine that percentage is actually higher in more obese countries where more people are eating too much in general. It means that even fewer people are actually going to be truly underweight in those countries. So, even BMI, which so many doctors are still using alone, you can use it, just not on its own. And yet, ed charities have absolutely nothing to say on the pressure to be overweight and the pressure to be obese. But they only want to talk about people wanting to not be fat. They are just obsessed with that. And that helps feed into the ed mindset. The ed mindset being that the fatness is the most important thing.